All right, folks, today is going to be a challenging day because I'm going to be talking about editing your video. Now, editing is something that people do for their entire lives. They do it as livelihood. They're professional editors. And so stuffing all of this into one YouTube video is going to be ambitious, to say the least. But my job here is to give you enough that you are confident to dive into that editing program, which admittedly is intimidating. Every single one of these programs, no matter how easy they make it, your first time, it's intimidating. And so I'm going to give you the basics. Now, please understand, these are the basics. You can go so much further than this, but I wanted to encapsulate it into a nice and neat package to get you started. And so since this is ambitious, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to hang with me. This is the way we're going to do it. The first half is going to be about basic video concepts and the basic features that you need to edit a video. The second half is going to be you watching me actually edit a video, and I'm going to implement everything that I talked about in the first half. So this will be a meaty episode, but I believe I've distilled it down enough that it's going to be digestible. Let's start off with basic video components. And what I mean by this is the things you're going to put together to make your video. The first is the video itself. We used to call it A-roll, but now it's just main video. And this is just like exactly what you're seeing here. It's me talking to the camera. We have something called B-roll, and what that is supporting footage. At the best, it's footage that helps you understand what's being said. Often on YouTube, it's just footage that's put in just to break up the monotony of watching somebody talk. And sometimes you got to do that on YouTube, but it really doesn't add to the education. And so those are the two main uses for video. Next, we have audio. Usually, video is both the picture that you see as well as the audio that goes along with the picture. But there are times when you just have the audio over some B-roll. That can be a voiceover. And this is very useful if you're cooking something, or you're building a cage, or you're doing a project where you're doing the point of view, so the camera is seeing what the hands are doing, but maybe you don't want to narrate in the moment because it's a lot of work to narrate for the camera while you're doing something. And so what you do is you take video of you actually doing whatever it is you're going to be doing, and then later on, you record the voice. That's called voiceover. And then you have music or background sounds. This could be sound effects or any crazy stuff. But music is very important to set the mood in some of your videos. And finally, we have still images. They can be an image insert where you actually just put a picture on the screen, or the picture can be an overlay, which is just put on top of the video. And this is useful when someone's talking. You want to put their name or the logo of their company down in the lower corner of the video while they're talking. And this is where it's useful to get to know image types. If you want to do an image insert, that's a JPEG. It's a format that gives you efficiency as far as size, so it's a smaller file size. If you want transparency, you want a PNG. And you just have to remember to specifically export it so it's got transparency. And that way it can be used as an overlay. So your videos will basically consist of these three elements. Now, these are three elements that you make before you go into your video editor. Once you're in your video editor, there's elements that you can do within there, like text on the screen, arrows, graphics, shapes, but that's not something that you have to prepare ahead of time. All right, then we get to your video editor. There are many video editors out there, and luckily, they pretty much all do the same basics. They'll call it different things, you'll access those features differently, but you'll be able to find those features. Some well-known video editors are DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, iMovie, and the list goes on and on. For your mobile, you can do video editing on your phone or your iPad, and there's apps like CapCut, which by the way also has an app for your laptop. The good news is that no matter which one you pick, you'll be able to implement these features. Now, I am going to be demonstrating on DaVinci Resolve, and I recommend that you start with Resolve because it works on both Windows and the Mac laptops. And through some miracle or something, it's free. It is a professional video editor that is free. There is a paid version, but you really don't need that. Now you should be saying, Bill, why is it free? How can we trust this? If it's free, is it supported? And the answer is yes. DaVinci Resolve is a unique situation where they needed a high-end video editor to support their high-end electronic equipment. And so this is really just a program that they're hoping everybody gets used to, so they buy the high-end equipment, which is the main business model. So in this probably one case, it is safe to go with the free option. Now, I have purchased a full version, but the free version is feature-rich. And no matter which video editor you have, you just have to figure out how to do these 6 functions, and you're going to be able to edit your video. And before I go into this, let me say YouTube is incredible for finding out how to do any of this. So sometimes you just need to know what the name is, and then you can search for that and you can find the answer. I use YouTube extensively for a lot of the things that I do. If I want to do something new, look at YouTube and there's somebody there to teach that to me. So you're going to have no problem finding support. Ironically, YouTube is a better support than the manufacturer. Okay, first thing is you need to be able to import all of your content, which is, basic, but then you need to insert it into a timeline. Now, that's obvious, but I want to use this opportunity to introduce you to the concept of layers. We video editors have 2 dimensions to think about when we are editing because all of these tracks layer on top of each other. So we can have a background picture, and then we can put on video on top of that background picture, and then we can put an overlay on top of that background picture. And those are 3 different layers that are going to be on our editing software. And you will see that in the second half here. Next, you're going to need to know how to cut out parts of the video. This is called the scissors tool, the razor tool, whatever it is. It's just taking a video track and cutting it where you need to remove something, like when somebody says, or they say, oh, okay, wait a minute, I messed up. Believe me, you will love the ability to cut things out. Now, once you find that tool, search as to how you can cut one track and then how you can cut multiple tracks with the same cut. Sometimes you only want to cut one because you want to remove a part of it and you don't want to remove something out of the background music. But other times you want to make sure you're cutting the entire section out with all of the layers. So being able to cut, razor tool, scissors, split the video track, either single track or multiple tracks. And then find out how to delete and ripple delete. Delete is, as it sounds, you select a video track and you hit delete and it disappears. But you will love ripple delete because when you hit delete, that track disappears, but the section after that track comes in to take its place. And so you can just cut out a misspoken word and it's like it never existed. It's a lot easier than delete and then manually moving the other track over. Then we're going to be talking about video and audio transitions, and that's where 2 clips will merge into each other, and instead of just one ending and the other beginning, it's pleasing to the eye. And I'll show you how to do that. And then there's audio normalization. And this is where you're taking the levels of the audio between the different clips and you're making sure that they're all at a consistent level. This is so that the clip that was very low audio, someone was far away from the microphone, that audio comes at the same level as somebody who is up here just talking into the microphone. And the reason why this is important is because you don't want your audience to have to push the volume up, put it back down, up and down throughout your video. Now, granted, YouTube does normalization itself, but it will do normalization on the entire video, not individual clips. And you'll see soon why this is significant. So you need to be able to go in and normalize all of the clips together. And then finally, you need an export function. All of these programs will have an export function, but I'm listing it because it's a necessary action that we have to go through. All right, so we have quite the list of things we're going to go into. We're going to take a break here for the halftime, and then when I come back, we are going to edit a video. All right, folks, we're here with an update. I know that Yvette has been working very hard on this video. And so let's get an update. How are things going?
Ooh, they're going. I know it doesn't sound very specific. Right now I'm working on scripting and how it's going to go and what I'm going to talk about. You know, all the details. I don't want to forget anything. So that's what I am working on
And we talked about the difference between doing an outline and actually scripting out each and every word. So what are you leaning towards?
I am more leaning toward the outline. So, because I think I could, sometimes when you're trying to memorize, it doesn't go too well.
Oh, I can't memorize anything.
So I think I'm going to just try like I'm having a conversation. And, you know, thank goodness for maybe cuts and retakes, you know?
Yeah. This whole episode is about editing software.
Yes. So I've got a lot of cramming to do, but it's going to get done.
So tomorrow, when you start filming, is it going to be the talking head or are we going on location places?
We are going to go somewhere with the talking head.
Okay.
What do you mean? You know, you find your perfect spot that maybe provides good lighting, ambiance.
But do I get to go on location somewhere?
I don't know. I haven't decided because sometimes I feel like I'm under pressure and I don't know. It's that introvert thing where sometimes I don't want anybody there.
Well, I thought we were going to be able to like go to a FedEx office and like do footage.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of adventure. I mean, that's the kind of adventure I live for.
We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to take my Osmo Pocket 3 and I'm going to record us recording.
Yeah.
All right, then. You ready to go and get filming tomorrow?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get going.
All right, folks. You heard it here, and we're going to keep going. We've got two more days until the unveiling this Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Misty Mountain Fans.
Yes.
All right. I'm excited.
Me too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you later. All right. So I've opened up DaVinci Resolve. This is my video editor. The first thing that we need to do is be able to import my media. And so I've got a media pool right here. It's called Master in this program. We call it something different in all the different places, but there will be a holding bin for all of your media that you want to be able to access to make your project. So let's import media. And I know I want to import this movie, maybe this music just for demonstration. We'll do a title or two and maybe an overlay. So that's what we want to bring in. So now we've got all these assets, which include video, a music file, which is an audio file, an overlay, and a image insert. So he says, what the heck, Bill? What's all that stuff? Well, let's bring it onto our timeline here. And so there's going to be a space where you bring this media in and you can start manipulating it. So what I've done is I've created a video about portrait versus landscape mode. And I will have a title in front, but I'm going to go ahead and start editing because once we bring it in, the next thing on my list of the actions that you need to figure out how to do is to be able to cut, meaning I need to be able to slice this up, take out the stuff that, like when I restart something. In DaVinci Resolve, there's this tool here. What's this called? This is called the cut tool. What's going on? The blade tool. Blade, scissors, razor. It's different for all of them. Doesn't matter what it's called. So let's go ahead and see where we can blade this up.
Oh, this is Bill Strand.
Actually, you know, right here, right in front, I don't need that entry point. I don't need it at all. And so what I'm going to do is I use the blade tool and I cut it. Notice how that is nicely cut. And then I can either delete, this is next on the list, either delete, I'm hitting the delete key, boom, it's gone. But remember that ripple delete thing I told you about? What happens if I select ripple delete? You notice how it disappears and the other clip flows in to take its place. That's very useful. No.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and we're going to be talking about profile mode versus landscape mode. What you're seeing right now is profile mode. This is what you usually see on mobile devices. I know. This is what you.
Okay, so this is behind the scenes stuff. This is what happens.
This is what you.
So I need to cut it here.
This is what you normally see on apps that are meant for mobile devices because that's the way we hold our phone.
There we go. All right, so I have this, and what are we going to do? I'm going to right click once I've selected it. And you're right, I'm going to hit the ripple delete. And boom, it just disappears as if it never happened. And let's go see what kind of transition that makes.
Seeing right now is profile mode. This is what you normally see.
So you notice that that's that cut, and then you have that little jerk because I've cut out reality. So this is very common on YouTube. This is how YouTube videos are generally done, and it's accepted.
On apps that are meant for mobile devices because that's the way we hold our phone in the vertical format. So this is 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. Yes. It's always fun when you're on camera. It's like, I don't remember anything. And this is appropriate for TikTok,
there we
Instagram,
go,
and YouTube.
All right, so you've seen how the cut tool or the blade tool works here. Okay, so what's next is we're going to go ahead and import some of those images. Let's go ahead and play around with that a little bit. So as you see, I'm bringing down the titles. We're going to be doing some playing with some transitions here. Give myself some space, and I am going to bring down my music. All right, look at that. All right. It doesn't sound that bad. It's just taking time to load everything up. There we go. Okay, I think people are going to fall asleep with that. So let's go ahead and shorten this title. There we go. Good enough for me. You see how I am selecting groups, moving them around. Now, the next thing that I had on here is to be able to do video and audio transitions. And what that means, if you look at how this goes, there's a very quick change between the first title and the second title. Notice it just appears. And then it's once I come on, it's like a sudden appearance. So if we want to soften that up, we need to put in a transition. And I have, this is my toolbox over here. On your program, you're going to have to find where the transitions are. And cross dissolve is a common one, and a lot of people use it's the most basic one. So watch how they kind of mesh into each other, and it's a easier transition. All right, I'm getting really tired of that audio. The audio is not bad. It's just the program is trying to process it, so it sounds jerky. But let's go ahead and try blur dissolve. What the heck? Why not? Blur dissolve. before it goes into me.
Hello, this is Bill Strand.
So notice the two different transitions. Cross dissolve, blur dissolve.
And we're going to be talking about...
Now you're going to say, oh, wait a minute, Bill. Look at that music. It just goes over you talking.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and we're going to be talking about profile.
So what we're going to do is I am going to... Come on. I am going to shorten my music.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and...
Wow, that was a little bit jarring. Is there a way that we can transition that a little bit smoother? The answer, of course, is yes. Now, find your audio transitions. DaVinci Resolve has this very cool thing where you can just click and drag the corner. And so you want to see what hear what that sounds like.
Hello, this is Bill.
So let's go ahead and drag that out.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and we're going to be...
There we go. Okay. So now it's a softer decline. And you can play around with that so it's much more pleasing to the ear. But we're going to go forward here.
Talking about profile mode.
You know what? I think we need my little Fantasticus. See this? I had a PNG file, which means it has a... Whoops. What happened there? Well, I didn't click on transparency. So I'm going to do very quick. It's a PNG, but I didn't output it as a transparent background. So it gave me a white background. There we go. Just gonna get rid of that. I don't want that. Let's go import media, and I want my font. There we go. So now you're going to see a difference. Now that I exported it with a transparent background, you see how it is now just an overlay.
And we're going to be talking about profile.
And I like that. It adds a little bit of class to the entire thing. Now, speaking of overlays, how about we put my name on this? Okay, so if we go over to titles, and I am going to, you will have to see how your program handles adding text to your video. But I'm going to go ahead in DaVinci Resolve, type in Bill Strand. And then where is it going to be? I'm going to change the position. And so you see how this is on top of things. It's on top of everything, as it is in my timeline here. Now, what happens if I move this font above? Well, you notice that it will now be on top of my name. And so I can control where things are in the stack up. Let's go ahead and finish this. I will probably speed up to the ending. All right, so now we're going to have a fun video transition.
There we go.
And I'm going to go ahead and do a video transition of dip to color, which means it's just going to fade into black. So go ahead, let's take a look.
And let's go ahead and
All right, that is my video. A nice, short, sweet video about portrait and landscape, but you can see the different things, the different tools that I used to create it. Now, normalization. You need to make sure that all of your clips, your audio, is normalized, meaning at the same level so our ears don't get tired. And what you'll have to do into your program is type in YouTube, wherever, how do I normalize the audio put in your particular editor. In DaVinci Resolve, it's nice and easy. I just right click, go to normalize audio levels. There's a normalization mode that's specifically for YouTube already, giving me minus 14 LKFS. That's a audio level measurement system. And set level relative, I'm going to independent. What that means is every clip is going to be normalized to this level. If I do relative, then it's going to take the audio as one clip. And if there's some clips that have lower audio than other clips, then the relative difference in loudness, volume, will be retained. We don't want that. In this particular case, I want all of the clips to be normalized to minus 14. So I say independent. So they're all evaluated independently. Hit normalize. And now everything is at the right levels.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and we're going to be talking about profile mode.
You can consider going in and changing music to be at a lower level. That's sometimes more aesthetically appealing. So what's the last thing on our list? Export. Find out how you export. You want to export 1080p, 30 frames per second, or whatever you edited in. And in DaVinci Resolve, it's nice because I got a special YouTube output, or else H.264 is a good one.
Hello, this is Bill Strand, and we're going to be talking about profile mode versus landscape mode. What you're seeing right now is profile mode. This is what you normally see on apps that are meant for mobile devices, because that's the way we hold our phone, in the vertical format. So this is 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. This is appropriate for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. But the mainstay of YouTube is the landscape video. And what you're seeing right now is a video done in the profile orientation that is put on a landscape orientation. And so that's why on YouTube we want to record in the landscape mode. Shoop. There we go. Let's get out of the sun there. This is what landscape mode looks like, and this will cover the entire screen of your YouTube video. And let's go ahead and edit this up as an example.
There is your real crash course in editing. And so what I suggest that you do is take a test shot of you. Hello, everybody. And just bring that into the editing program of your choice and go through each one of these steps. Import it, put it onto the timeline, try to cut it up, delete, ripple delete, add on some music, could be voiceover, could be music, whatever. What you're trying to do is practice doing those different layers and adding in photos, either insert or PNG, so there's a transparency, so it's an overlay, the video, and music. Just play around with adding in things. Then you go and you try the transitions. So make sure that the pictures next to each other, make a slideshow. That's a real easy way to do it. Make a slideshow and play around with the transitions. Each one of the transitions is different. Now, it can get exhausting if you just try so many different transitions in the same video. Generally, you don't want the transitions to be the main attraction. So what I try to do with transitions is they are as unnoticeable as possible, unless I want to make a dramatic scene change. And then you can do a dramatic transition. All right, so I'm going to send you out into the world. Experiment. I know it's intimidating to start with any of these editing programs, but go experiment and just go through those action items that I have laid out and be able to perform them. With those basics, you can put together most any video. And once you're comfortable with those, you add on different skills that put on the garnish on your videos and clean them up. So your homework is to find an editing program that works on whatever system you want to use and just start playing with it. Get familiar with the functions, familiar with the features, and try my action items. Once you've got that, produce a video and put it on YouTube. And the next video is going to be better. This has been a blast doing this with you. I'll see you next time.